unataka kuwa vengeful or unataka tu hii ni time yako sasa square things away with Aoko. So maybe akikuwa released na aseme she's okay, nothing happened to her, unaweza kuja kwa timeline umwambie nilikuwa naona una deserve, ndio mpatane na yeye vizuri kwa timeline. Lakini saa hii she's not safe, she's not okay, watu wake wanasema hawajui kama ako poa. So that is my opinion. Inaweza kuwa mtu mwingine atasema namtetea. I'm just talking on behalf of mtu mwenye amekuwa pro revolution. She has been advocating for the people who don't have a voice. She has been asking the government she has been advocating for good governance. Please. So please tukuje tu hapa na tukue mindful about chenye tunasema, because it might be one of us tomorrow, na hatuwezi taka watu waingie kwa space wakisema niliona akitweet hivi. She tweets a lot of horrible things, but mimi nimesema majority of the things ana posting zenye ni horrible ni about the political class, na I'll be damned if I have a kind word to say about political class, yet people are continuing to grieve the deaths of their children. Sina anything kind ya kusema. Bado wanaenda wakidanganya, wakimake empty promises. So mimi nasema tu kama Aoko amefanya anything wrong, apelekwe tu kotini and for her to plead her case, alawiwe akuwe na lawyer, but sio hizi abductions ya chini chini. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ivy. I didn't recognize you. Kumbe, that was you. But when you opened your mic, then I recognized your voice. But thank you so much for your submission. Yes, calling out for our humanity when interrogating this case of Aoko, which I know I've been looking at the comments. It's really split the conversation a little bit. Some people are indifferent. Some are calling for her freedom. But let's see what Wanjiru has to say. Wanjiru, can you hear us now? I know the space was bugging earlier on. I had to reset.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Thanks, Afrocentric. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, now thanks for this space. Actually, it's a very good space because this space basically it questions Article 33 of the Constitution, which is the right to freedom of expression. And freedom of expression is what has been the biggest issue in Kenya today, which Ruto is violating big time. And anybody right now calling for Aoko's, Aoko's violation of her freedom to expression is actually also being hypocritical. So Article 33 says we have a right to receive or impart information or ideas. So if we are a country that is ruled, that we are talking about the rule of law and constitutionalism, whether or not those ideas offend us, we have to respect them because it is our right to express them. Article 33 subsection 2 and Article 24, it does have limitations and it's fair. The limitations are very specific. Propaganda for war, incitement of violence, hate speech, advocacy for hatred on the basis of ethnicity, race, religion, or other discriminatory grounds. Now, look, Aoko does offend a lot. And she offends me as well, because as a constitutionalist, even when she talks about gays and she talks badly about faggots and she talks badly, it offends me. But it does not fall under any of those sections, like subsection 1, 2, 3, or 4. And even if it does, it's not a criminal offense. She should not be arrested. There are other legal remedies and there are civil remedies. So to arrest her is an abuse of power. It's an abuse of the law, which is what Ruto is doing against all of us who went to the streets to protest. It is not any different from what Ruto did by infringing on the rights of our association and our rights to picket. So anybody who is saying that she has done wrong and should be arrested is also saying that what Ruto did by infringing upon our Article 1 rights and our rights to assembly and to picket is also being honestly hypocritical. So as citizens offended Ruto, tulimwambia anguka nayo, tulimwambia ni mwizi, tulimwambia all those things, and he unleashed war. And we said he has infringed on our constitutional rights. So why is it right for us to be here and say it is okay to arrest Aoko for exercising her Article 33 rights of expression? If truly she has offended anybody, then go for the civil remedies. The civil remedies could be defamation. But to arrest her and deny her rights to be represented by legal counsel, it's not right. I think she's offensive. But to be honest, it is wrong for her to be arrested. Let us be fair. Let us be consistent as Kenyans. Kama what Ruto has done to kill Kenyans who are exercising their rights to expression, why are we arresting Alpha because she has offended people? I cede the mic. Thank you.
Thank you, Wanjiru. Interesting take. What are your thoughts on responsibility towards the freedom of speech? Because if you incite people and they go commit a crime, do you bear responsibility? Can the law come for you? Because you said you're a constitutionalist. What is your thoughts on responsibility towards freedom of speech? Or we should just speak our mind, whatever the consequences, come what may, defamation of character, bodily harm, destruction of private property, public property. We all know how dangerous a loose cannon can be, so to speak. But I do get, that we have to guard the freedom of speech, especially whenever we disagree with someone on issues. And what about when it comes to straight down to personally? It's no longer about issues, it's about your family. Like the other speaker who said he decided to engage an individual on issues, but the responses were personal. Your mother, your sister, your child. And not everyone has the patience or the resources to launch a defamation suit against you. Some people let it go. Some people believe in karma. Some people believe, let it go. Let me be the bigger person. But if you go on with it, one day you'll meet someone who will decide ashuke na wewe. And that's, we have all encountered bullies. And KOX is the home of the biggest bully. In fact, the fact that a Kenyan has an account, you have some level of thick skin. There's someone who has, brushed you off in some kind of way. And we have all felt the force of abuse on this platform.
Yeah.
Where does responsibility come in, and when do we begin to call? Because we're calling for accountability and responsibility as much as it's the same way. How do we demand it from each other? What are your thoughts on that?
Look, Afrocentric, that's a good question. But at the end of the day, that little book that we agreed agreed to guide us as Kenyans is what says who we is what is our moral compass, and it is what guides us. So for me, no matter how upset you are about what I say, just because you're in a position of power, you cannot use the instruments of force to silence me. And that's the problem. The law is on us. Because what you're trying to tell me is that Ruto, because he's got the instruments of force, he can use them against you and against me. But kama nimekuchongoa on the streets and we can't, so you and I are unequal. Is that what it means? Let's work with the constitution that we actually signed. There are 4: propaganda for war, violence, hate speech, advocacy for hatred. Now we have got to test that. There are laws that regulate how we should be punished and how that is judged. So it's not a kangaroo court. We can't operate in a kangaroo court on one day, and then on the other side we're saying, oh, the constitution. We have got to be consistent. Alcohol offends me a lot. But she has not committed a crime. Fact. I see.
Other guy, you had an interjection? Other guy, are you there?
Yeah. I'm definitely here, and I would like to maintain my position that abductions are unconstitutional, are illegal, and are among some of the very, very hideous things that this regime is carrying out. And I have tweeted Free Aoko, and I really mean that. But now, perfectly, let me speak on the character of Aoko, okay? And I will keep insisting that it is not right in any way to abduct Aoko. So, to perfectly, I would like to speak on the character of Aoko. You said you could be biased because you DM'd her and she was nice to you, and that's understandable. And I've seen some of her tweets, which she's really nice to people, but her niceness also has limitations to as long as you are aligned to her ideologies. Now, you also say that Aoko has stuck with the revolution throughout. I have also stuck with the revolution throughout. I've been to all protests. I've even attended burials for some of the guys who were shot on the street on a personal stand, like kwa moyo yangu. But speaking on the character of Aoko, has she really been on the revolution, or is she one of the opportunists who has been using the revolution to get to whatever she wants? And the answer is clear. You just go through her tweets. At some point in the revolution, she says the Gen Zs must choose Babu Owino to be their leader. That's what she wants. If she insists that for the revolution to be successful, we must have a leader who is Babu Owino. She is an endorser of a person. She follows a person, not ideologies. Remember, she was one of the biggest campaigners of the current regime. And the only reason that she is mad against this regime, I mean, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons that she's been so vocal against the Ruto regime is because, as she says herself, she was promised a job and they told her, you are too foul-mouthed for us to give you a job, and we won't consider you for a job. And that is why she's against the Ruto regime. And she's she's trying to divert the revolution so that everybody chooses Babu Owino as a leader. Babu Owino could be a leader if you guys chose, but it's not because he was endorsed by Aoko. Aoko follows a person, not the ideologies. She doesn't even have ideologies. You see, we are trying the revolution and the Gen Zs. We are trying to strive towards a constitutionally based nation where every laws in the constitution are followed. Wanjiru, abductions are illegal, but at the same time, and I'm not defending, saying at the same time is not a conjunction to defending. Freedoms have limitations. I have the freedom to speech, but if I meet you on the streets and I insult you, and I start calling maybe your mother names and start insulting your, you you may not be patient enough. And the fact that it's not on the streets and it's here on Twitter, on X, I mean, doesn't make much of a difference. So my point is, Aoko should not be abducted, but we should also check whatever we write on the on our timelines. Na kama a person is insulted by Aoko, defamation of character could open up legal cases. So if Aoko insults somebody and that person has the right to go to court, and Aoko could be arrested legally, but abductions, no. So tusiseme ati mtu tu anaweza ongea, saa zingine unaharibia mtu jina juu maybe hajakupea. Najua many politicians, okay, almost all politicians ni wabaya, but mwenye alikuwa anasema Aoko only insults politicians, no, she's been on Hanifa's case. Hanifa is not a politician in any way. Amekuwa akimwambia vitu zenye, if the parents of Hanifa are on X, inaweza ingiza hata kwa depression. The thing she says about Hanifa, you know, there is a difference between facts and defaming someone's character and insulting someone and using words that, hey, hapana bwana. So yeah, that is my response to Perfectly and Wanjiru. Freedoms have limitations. Abductions are illegal, but at the same time, not bad. And at the same time, freedoms have limitations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can we land our points and say, and for this cause, finish your say, I believe this Aoko arrest is warranted, or I believe this Aoko arrest is baseless. The only two.
There is
no for the next speaker.
Afrocentric. It shouldn't be Aoko arrest. It's an abduction, which it's unwarranted. It's not an arrest. So it's an abduction. The space should be about the abduction because it was not an arrest as I've had it. So if it was an arrest, maybe it could be warranted. Maybe it could be baseless, but this is an abduction which is unwarranted.
Initially, I thought about, it was initially an abduction, but now we know where she is, and there's a statement. I mean, we know she's in Mutaiga police station. Those abductions, when we put all the states initially, when the government was in a abduction spree, we never knew where someone was until a day later, 2 days later. Up to now, there are some people still missing. So in the context of that is an abduction. So, but right now we know she's in police custody. She's under arrest. That's why I've used those terminologies, if that makes sense. But it was an abduction that has now evolved into an arrest because it is clear she's in police custody. David Wakabi, are you there? David.
Afrocentric, please, can I just make just one statement, please? Do you mind?
Okay, go ahead. I'm trying to expand the conversation so you can contribute more.
Just one sentence.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, an abduction can never translate into an arrest. Due process was not followed. There was no arrest warrant. So it still remains an abduction,
So
which
right
is
now she's in
illegal.
police custody. She's abducted. That's the
She's
language you
still
should use.
abducted. She's still abducted. She's not arrested. There was no arrest warrant. There was no due process that was followed. And then just one more statement I want to make. Just because you insult my mother does not mean it is a criminal offense. Let us stick with the Constitution. The limitations are 4 in the Constitution. You cannot be arrested because I have offended your mother. Please. And she still offends me, by the way. And I'm still on Hanifa's right. I'm still on Hanifa's side, yes, but she has not committed an offense.
Thank you, Wanjiru. David, are you there? David, can you hear us? Okabi. I'm trying to follow.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Microphone is yours.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. In regards to our cause arrest, I believe, I know as a human being, there are some things you cannot agree on, but when it comes to justice, doesn't matter who is on the table. Justice must be served equally. It doesn't matter whether you abuse someone, but when it comes to justice, we don't usually negotiate on those matters. So, to be very honest, I've been a follower of Aoko. I've seen her tweets. Sometimes there are tweets that I can agree with, and there are those I can differ. But what I would like to say is that she doesn't deserve to be abducted and kuwekwa kwa police. It is not right. Everyone has a right to speech, and if the government starts, as in the government ikianza to abduct people using because of some tweets, I believe that is the wrong way to go. It is not right, because if I compare that situation with what is happening in the West, as in if they start doing that, then I believe we are going to take that, and it is not right, because
Hey, David, we are losing you. Please find some network and lift your hand and let me know when you're ready. I'll give the microphone to Ajirek. Ajirek, are you there?
Yeah. Thanks so much. I'm actually here. I'm Kennedy Hakabo Mkunda. I'm the team leader at AGREC. AGREC is a hard governance and research consultant. I'm using my firm's logo, so I'll be very balanced in my conversation. Ndio Gen Z wasinisalimie. Ndio wanaweza kusalimia. So I've followed Aoko for quite some time. And maybe before I say what I want to say, one of the work we do at AGREC is to look at the online bullying issues, the technology facilitated gender-based violence, and how does it affect leadership. And I think that is where I want to pick my conversation from. And I've done several of these trainings with USAID funded programs along this Kenya. And that's where I want to pick from. Now, you see, everything we do, and I've said I've followed Aoko for quite some time, and her thought process is that she has opinion in everything that is happening in the country, and she takes a position. Although sometimes she brings in her murky things, but she basically has a view of what is happening. Now, I want to say this, that, sorry, let me just, sorry, I will come back. My phone is going off. I'll come back. Sorry, I'll come
All
back.
right,
My
all right.
phone is
Please
dying.
put your phone on the charger, and
Yeah,
we'll give you back the microphone.
I will come back. Just yeah.
Oh yeah, no problem, no problem. Single target. Single target. Can you hear me? Single target. Are you there?
Hello,
Single.
Afrostatic. I'm
Oh,
here.
oh yeah. I can hear you. I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Could you just give me, please, about 10 minutes, then I'll be back?
Oh, sure. You can settle. You can settle.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Afro,
Yes, Ivy.
I just want a 1 minute to say something to answer the other guy. He mentioned something. Is that okay?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay. He said that Aoko is usually pushing an agenda for Babu Owino, and that's what I want to speak on. On the part that he talked about, he talked about the way she usually abuses Hanifa. I don't think it's okay to attack your fellow Kenyan citizen except when it is a politician. That is the hill I'm willing to die on. That is where my humanity inaishia hapo kwa political class. Anyway, um, if you say that even those people who are trying to push the Wanjigi tag, the ones who are started to push Matiangi, several people here wenye ni big wigs wamekuwa na agenda. But today, if they are abducted, we are not going to keep quiet just because wamekuwa wakipush agenda ya mtu mwingine. They are still our fellow Kenyans. So kama Aoko ukweli akwangi akisimama na revolution the way she claims, that is for her to deal with her own conscience peke yake, lakini saa hii we are just advocating for her to be released, and then the law imtafute the right way, not by abducting her and then anaapia kwa police station like Wanjiru said. Mi sijui law. She said that that is not considered still an arrest hata kama ako kwa police station saa hii. So a lot of big wigs here have been going behind us, sisi wenye generation Z, na wanaenda wanatafuta sasa, they are chasing the bag and pretending that they are pro revolution. But still, if today something happens to them and they are missing and they cannot be found, we will still push the hashtag free so and so regardless, because even if they are pushing a hashtag for good governance, yet wako na their hidden agenda, ni sawa tu, tutafika hiyo goal moja which is good governance. So that's why mimi in my opinion nilikuwa na advocate for Aoko, because I'm human, she's human too, she's Kenyan first of all, and then amekuwa akiongelelea revolution. Mi sijajua hiyo part ya yeye kuadvocate for Babu Owino. If they know each other, that's okay too. She has also been talking about the Luo and how they need to be released from the shackles of Raila. I don't speak her language. I would have said that she's been saying this about the Kalenjins, she's been saying, but isi about tribe, isi about any politician, ni about Aoko kukuwa denied rights zake na kunyang'anywa rights zake. Yes, there are limitations to hata venye umesema hizo freedom of speech, lakini Aoko angekuwa sued ama akuwe arrested, she shouldn't have been abducted. And whether she has a hidden agenda by supporting the revolution, she doesn't deserve what she has gotten. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. But I'm not saying she's right by abusing people here and there.
Thank you. IVKOX. Makjuma. Don. Makjuma, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh yes, microphone is yours. Can you give us your thoughts on this developing situation of the abduction of Aoko?
Yeah. First of all, in the issue of abduction, that thing is not right. We find out that, like, even the DCI itself cannot give out
the information about who is attacking. So that means it's just the executive or those people who are just around Ruto and just trying to scare us. So if somebody has something, they are just looking for ways to get rid of us, to make us scared.